Hello fish fools, Jeff here. So this is my 10-gallon quarantine tank. These fish have been in here for about a month and they're ready to move on to their permanent homes in various aquariums that I have, different community tanks. This group of fish altogether would make for a great community tank, a good mix of fish, nice variety as it is. I do have plans on moving them to several different existing community tanks that I have. I did already move some to my 6-foot 84-gallon community tank a few days ago in a previous video. But next are going to be these red tiger platies. These three right here. So there's one male and two females. I did initially get two pairs, two of each, two males and two females. I did lose one of the males, but if I can maintain this trio, that's what I can use to start a colony of these, and that's what I'd like to do. That's the plan. So they're going to be moving to a 10-gallon aquarium. So I'll show you which tank they're going to be moving to. So this 10-gallon aquarium, this is where I'm going to move the red tiger platies to. And I'm going to move these guppies out. These are guppy endler hybrids. So this 10-gallon aquarium, this was for the longest time my guppy endler hybrid tank for many years, and along the way the population would rise and fall, and now all that's left are these three males and no more females. And there's also a couple pygmy corydoras in here. And there's neocaridina shrimp. So the shrimp will stay, the guppies are going to come out. I'm actually just going to leave this one with the bent spine. I don't think that'll be any threat whatsoever to the platies, because I want to turn that trio, those three platies, into 30 or more. I want to get a good colony going. And these two males right here are going to move to one of my 40-gallon tanks. So yeah, this is my guppy endler hybrid tank. This is the tank that I had hair algae issues for the longest time, and I got a mono shrimp in here. They're all gone, and the mono shrimp didn't solve the hair algae problem. It wasn't until I added the Siamese algae eater in here that it finally got taken care of. But those are all gone. This is all that's left. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a water change on this tank, take out these two male guppies, and then move the platies in here. Stay tuned. There's a pygmy corridor. I believe I have two left. So I have shown in a lot of my other videos different tanks that I have with different species of corydoras. They've been spawning, and these were actually in this tank the first time I collected corydoras eggs. It was there. These pygmy corydoras, hatched them out, and I was never able to raise any of them. Had one that was about 2 months old, and I moved it to another tank, and then it disappeared, and I never saw them spawn again. I had witnessed it twice. Once before the time I collected them, I noticed some guppies in here that were eating eggs off the glass, and then the time I was able to collect some, but if they did again before or after that, I never did see them. But yeah, so there's still a couple of those in here, and Yeah, so now there's a neocaridina shrimp colony. I have, it was not too long ago I showed a video where there was a ton of shrimplets when I took out all the Java moss to clear out the tank so I could search to see if there were any amino shrimp left that I couldn't find. But yeah, there's a lot of cherry shrimp in here, and you can kind of notice right here in the center of the screen here, there's some diatom algae forming on the front of the glass. So that's one thing I forgot to mention. There's a nerite snail that's going to go in here too. So I have had nerite snails in here before, and they have escaped the aquarium. I did notice one time when I diatom algae was forming, that it occurred to me that, I hadn't seen the nerite snail in a while, and then I found it dried up and dead behind the tank. But yeah, all right. So we have the trio of red tiger platies and the nerite snail. So I'm going to add them to this tank. I'll try to pour them in right here. And of course I missed it. But there they are. So there are these two of the females, and there's the male. So I believe they might have had some babies in the quarantine tank. So the last time when I had my hands in that tank, when I was taking out the black mollies and the betta to move it to my 84-gallon tank, I did shake up the Java moss and saw some fry. So it could have been theirs. But what I want is for them to drop at least a couple batches of babies in here to get a population going before I do any gene mixing and mudding them up with the combining with other strains in other tanks and community tanks like I do. But I mean, it's possible because there were other platies in the quarantine tank, the green lantern male, so it's possible he could have impregnated these females. But we've been here for a while, so this male can, if he hasn't already, if he can impregnate them and then get a population going. The nerite snail is still in here. So I'll drop that in. Yeah. So it's a little bit sad knowing that the guppy endler hybrid tank has come to an end. It was a long run of like 5 years. This tank, this week, even going back to the beginning, this was my original quarantine tank when I first started getting back into the aquarium hobby again. I had my first group of fish in here, and I had platies and guppies then to start my 30-gallon community tank at the time. And in the quarantine tank, they had babies, so I let them. This was from the quarantine tank and just let it serve as a grow-out tank, and then ended up getting a black bar male endler that impregnated a female guppy, and then the guppy endler hybrid colony began and lasted for about 5 years until I lost the last female recently. And now the next phase is to be a red tiger platy colony tank. All right, and well, so that's that. But we still have the guppies that I took out of this tank. So let's go check it out as I move those into the 40-gallon that they're going to. Stand by. Alright, so this is the 40-gallon community tank that the guppies are going to, or the guppy endler hybrids. The last of the long-running, half a decade guppy endler hybrid colony. So here they are. There's that male that kind of looks a little bit like a Vienna guppy, and the other male is just plain. It is a male though, kind of looks like a female just color-wise, but has a gonopodium. Alright, I'm gonna add these in here this time. I'm gonna let them pour out. There's the male right at the one of them, I think. I don't know if I, with all the other fish in the way, I don't know if I got a good look at that, but yeah, so this is where those are. Alright. And last thing, let's go back to the quarantine tank. Alright, so for the remaining fish in here, it's going to be 3 different tanks that these are going to. Oh, what's up with this Siamese algae eater right there? Just tangled in the jug moss. Alright. So there's neon tetras. There should be 6, if I remember. Well, those are going to go into my, not the 40-gallon I just showed, but my other 40-gallon planted live community tank, along with the platies. So there's the green lantern platy right here. That's a female. And there's a male in here somewhere. And this platy. So those are going to go in the 40-gallon. And there's some fry in here that are all juveniles now. Some that were born in here to the previous group of quarantine fish. I had the yellow twin bar platies in here, like the red tiger platies I had also have twin bars. Like two, like, yeah, there's the male green lantern platy. But at the time, those were the only female platies in here, so it had to be her, though they don't look like it. They were just whatever came out of a assorted platy tank when I bought them. So their fry are in here, and I did see a smaller one that would have been probably her offspring. So yeah, the neon tetras and the platies are going to go in that 40-gallon. The cherry barbs are going to go to my 20-gallon long that has guppy endler hybrids, like that, I guess. Well, actually, I still have several other tanks with guppy endler hybrids, but guppy endler hybrids, skunk corydoras, rosy loaches, and also have sparkling grammies in that tank. And then there's only one white cloud in here that's going to go. I have a 5.5 gallon with the white closet that's going to join. And there is also, I'm going to find it back there, the red-eye tetra. If you've been following along with this YouTube channel, and when I show this quarantine tank, that is the permanent resident of the quarantine tank. So as fish come and go, when this tank has no fish in it, just so I can keep feeding the tank and keep it going and keep this tank ready for new fish when I get them, so it's like a permanent resident. Then there is the Siamese algae eaters. There's 2 in here. I have not decided what I'm going to do with those. Just whatever tanks may need some algae eating is where they're going to go to, like the red tiger endler. I mean red tiger platy. 10-gallon tank, like that's the one that had hair algae issues for the longest time. So until I got the Siamese algae eater. So if that happens again, that's where at least one of them will go, and then another one will be ready if needed. Otherwise, I can just add it to any quarantine tank. I mean, any community tank. Yeah. All right. So that's everything for now. The moving of the other fish will come. I might get to it tonight. If so, I may or may not submit the video until like same day. Might be the next day, but coming up, there'll be at least 3 other tanks that these are going to be moved to. So stay tuned for that. And that's it for now. And remember, I'm Jeff, and I enjoy fishies. Thanks for watching.